welcome back to Tight 10 Tickles. Sorry. Season 7.
You were fine before
8.
the countdown. What did you do? What did you do in those 30 seconds?
I'm just...
John, you need to stop huffing. You need to stop huffing petrol. It's not good for you.
I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm not sure what happened there at all. But yeah, welcome to Tight 10 Tickles, Season 7, Episode 8. Back on the comedy page after our shenanigans last week, which pretty much meant that we weren't able to broadcast it here, but it was available in other areas. With me, as always, is Chris Ashworth. Oh, I got that right. I hate when I get it right.
Yeah, you don't get it right. No, I got to get it right as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I've come up with this isn't quite a pun, but the episode title is Episode 8. Knock knock. Who's there? Cthul.
Cthul who?
It's
excellent work, man.
Excellent work.
That's why we get paid so much for this stream.
That's why we get the big bucks. So yeah. So welcome back. As always, we'll talk shite for about 40 minutes and then do a good 20 minutes of actual gameplay. But we've been doing that slightly differently with this one because we're so keen to see where the story goes.
I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this through the week, and I've got my notes here properly made. Cool. I've got combination on machine ready to be noted. I'm very ready for this, but
excellent.
I mean, I guess
so maybe you just want to get right in about it.
What, like this second?
I don't think you're capable of that.
No, it's be like, are you feeling okay? Except your voice.
Let's get this over with.
Are you all right? Have you been drinking blood again? What is this?
I'm okay. My lungs are still fucked. I'm okay. I'm alive.
There was a while ago you had them.
I was fine when we were talking before this, and it's just old age.
It's not old age. That makes no sense.
What? Sorry.
I think it's just if you sit down for too long, your voice goes. I think it's connected to your anus, and if it's got too much pressure on it,
I'm like a
tension
shark
in your anus. That's your problem.
Do you want me to stand up? I'm not wearing any trousers, so nobody wants to have it banned from Twitch.
Where's the stand up button?
Banned from Twitch and Facebook. YouTube just put an 18+ classification on me. Have to start streaming from Twitter because they're the only people that will allow it.
Yeah, OnlyFans. You pay for your Twitter badge, you get an OnlyFans.
Here's a question.
Yes.
If I was like, and I'm not going to do it right, I just have to qualify that. I'm not going to do it right. But if I was to just flash right now, I'm not going to.
Right.
Is that different in any way to like an unsolicited dick pic?
No. Yes. Sorry. Yes, it is different, and I think it's about the intended audience because dick pics.
So the fact that I've decided that everybody needs to see my junk, it's somehow fine.
No one said that. The fact that you've decided to show everyone your junk means possibly it's worse. It's like it's like the difference
because you could be using. And by the way, this is the first time I've ever said that this would be possible. But I'd be if I'm sending a dick pic to a specific person, then that's showing quite an intent that's aimed solely to that person. And for the first time in history, my penis is being used as a form of intimidation.
Yeah,
but
that's also true
right now. Even though that's
also true. No, but that's also true if you flash to just one person as well. It's the same.
Yes, I know, but I wouldn't be flashing right now. I'd be flashing at one person because there's probably only one person watching. But it's me. But do you know what I'm saying? Is that I think it's worse in some regards, but I don't think it's worse in terms of the reason that sending dick pics to people.
It depends, right? Because it depends. Like, look, right. Exposing yourself to a bunch of people down the park is, yeah. I mean, is that better? I don't know. It's still definitely intimidation.
But that's another thing. I can't believe we're getting into this right now. Sunday afternoon. Exposing yourself to a group of people in a park is different again because
I mean, wait, sorry, what
you're in the
context are you
park.
talking about? Are you talking about on the screen then? If you
I'm
did it
talking
just
about
like in the
on the
middle.
screen right now.
I don't. Yeah. I think
If
park's
I was
different.
just to, if I was just to kind of flash you right now on this screen during this stream, that's bad. But surely it's
Yes.
not as bad as doing it to people in person, a group of people in
Yeah.
person, or sending an electronic image to one person, because that's very kind of directed.
Yeah. There's
By the
definitely
way,
levels to it.
for anyone that's just come on to this stream, I'm not going to do it. We're just
Not
we'll just
unless
flex
you
a wee bit.
reach this donation quota in the middle of the screen.
John will fly. Well, do you know, joking aside, years ago, I kind of for charity uh I'm not even going to do this, right? That's okay. I am going to do
You're gonna
for
have to. You
charity
started it
once. I
now.
kind of made a comment that I would flash my arse on the
Right.
stage
Now
if
that's
we
also
reached.
different. That's also different, but go on.
Yeah, but I know this is also different. But I said I'd flash my arse if we raised a certain quota of money,
Yeah.
and we didn't. And then another comedian who'll remain unnamed because he's a bit more famous and a bit kind of bigger now than he was at the time, went around making people put more money into the bucket. So
At that point, who's the criminal?
that's why I'm not mentioning his name, because I think there's a real kind of there's a real debate to that, and I think it was Jeannie Jones. I'm fine kind of mentioning other people that weren't directly involved in what is possibly a criminal act. I think it was Jeannie Jones said to me later on, saying that's fine, John, but did you have to take your shirt off? Because you know, I think people just expecting me to just kind of slightly pull my trousers down and show my arse back, take my shirt off so they can get the full arse view. I regret nothing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's for charity, right? But
It was for
yeah,
charity.
no, there's
I mean,
definitely
charity flashing again.
levels to that.
It's a
And
different.
of course,
I
look, I
genuinely
can't
didn't know we were
advise.
going to go down this route. We should have probably just started the quest. To be fair,
No, any conversation that ends with me advising people that are watching, please don't do that to
yeah,
anybody. The only dick pics you should be sending are ones that have been asked for. That doesn't happen
solicited
that
is the word.
often.
Solicited is the
Unless you're on
number
Grinder,
one.
in which case it does happen all the time.
Yeah,
And they are
yeah.
appreciated.
Well, that's the thing. I suppose there's times when people probably are okay with it, but always make it solicited. As my gran used to say.
Yeah.
We've
She
got
was.
we've got our first
Oh, hello.
message
Nice,
kind
man.
of in there.
I actually don't. I'm immaculate right now. I got a shower right before we came on. I'm looking.
I'm not. I'm
looking
having a shower
pristine.
afterwards. I
Horrible
always
lighting, as I realized recently. Horrible lighting. Everyone thinks I look a lot older than I actually am.
Sorry. Maeve wasn't sort of as confusing for everyone. That I just had that going. Very confused by the fact that able to show that one screen. That'll probably stop her from writing anything else nasty.
Yeah, that's it. Just the nail that sticks up is the one that gets hammered down.
Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. I'm the opposite. I usually have a shower after these things because I feel kind of soiled.
Usually by the things that we discuss. We just had a 10-minute breakdown on when you should and shouldn't send dick pics, expose your arse.
I think the answer is you should never.
You should never send dick pics. Jesus, what if it's to
No,
save your grand's life?
I wouldn't send a dick pic to save my grand's life.
No.
My grand's dead. I'm older than you, Chris. My grand's dead. Both my
Both of
grands are
them?
dead. Both
Only
of
one
them.
of mine's dead, but it wasn't the one I wanted to die. Oh boy, I hope no one's watching from my
Remember that.
family.
Remember, we are on the live stream, and everybody can watch this if it is their desire.
I think a lot of people will know what the second part of that compliment is. They were all thinking it. For all I know, I'm
We are all
not. I
thinking
mean, I haven't worn a condom since 2015, so chances are I'm either I'm either really good at pulling out or I'm infertile. Who knows?
Do you know? Just a reminder to all our viewers that condoms aren't just there for stopping pregnancy.
Yeah, they also make an interesting hat.
Yes, that's what I was going with. I sounded Darth Vader today. I was actually thinking, because I think last week I sounded all right. I know that I was saying that as I was going to be reading, I might have to kind of stop and stuff, but I feel a bit more breathy this week than I did even last week.
Can you give me your lack of faith disturbs me?
No, because I'm only doing the kind of wheezy bit of Darth Vader. I think if me just saying,
but I'd like to hear what it would have been like if you
if
voiced
I had
it.
been if I'd beaten James Earl Jones.
If you'd beaten James Earl Jones.
If I beat James Earl Jones in the audition for Darth Vader, it would have sounded like, I find your lack of faith disturbing. I don't think Darth Vader would have been considered a more just give me a minute.
I've got to take a sit down. I've got a migraine.
Sorry, I'm just going. You keep kind of posting comments, so I'm going to keep bringing them up.
Picking up the accent.
That's quite good to know. I think it's because I enunciate. I don't know how it deals with Chris, who sounds like an absolute animal sometimes. But
that's only for a fact. I actually don't speak like this at all. My real voice I sound just like you. We had to change it because we just sound exactly the same otherwise. So this is an affected
James
accent.
Earl Jones.
Yeah, people would think that it was
Earl
you.
Jones is still alive, isn't he?
But who's keeping track of that?
Probably his loved ones. Not heard from Dad in a while.
Hold on.
If
that's something to
James
Google
Earl
right
Jones family members are watching this, can you let us know, is your dad all right?
Is your husband father
driving past James Earl Jones' house, and there's like bottles of milk congregating outside the front.
Can't open the door for the letters.
The letters.
Jesus, he's 93, but he is indeed still alive.
I was just saying all the royalty checks for Star Wars are up behind the door of his house. They can't get in.
He got divorced in 2016. Who's divorcing a 85-year-old? Of you two, Maeve.
See you Thursday, Maeve. We're not even going to. I just realised that looks really bad for anybody that doesn't just.
Yeah.
I need to go for a trail. But I'll see you Thursday. Love you, dads. And I'm kind of going, what is that?
It's lucky
What's happening here? I don't
have that none of your family watches this stream.
Role play involved.
That's true. There is role play.
Anybody that knows us will go, that's clearly a D&D thing, isn't it? anybody that knows us will go, they're playing D&D.
That'll be what it is. And we are a set of gay dads in D&D.
We're Maeve's gay dads.
Winky face. Do you know what? He actually looks pretty good for 93. No, you can't see that, and I wish I could. Wait, present? What's
share your screen? I think you can share your screen.
No way.
Maybe you don't want to though.
I don't even know what screen I'm sharing. Select window or screen. Oh yeah. You totally can. Let's see. We've never done this before. Embrace new technology. Can you see James Earl Jones?
Oh yeah, we
He's
have
looking
never done
well.
this before. This is good.
He's looking well for 93, isn't he?
Looking all right.
For 93, come on now. You
Not
saw
looking bad
what
for 93 at all.
Prince Philip looked like at 93. He looked like he'd been dead for 20 years. Bye. How did I stop sharing now? That's the other question. There we go.
I didn't know we could do that. That opens up a whole world of
Yeah, we can now
possibilities.
reference things and actually include the. Look at this. We're only 7 seasons in before
We're only 7 seasons in, and we're only 7 seasons in, and we're getting to grips with some technology. we are just dads, aren't we? We're like, how does this work? I keep right clicking instead of left clicking.
Oh man, now this has opened up a whole world of possibilities. I have so many things on my computer that I'd like to share. Not at this moment.
Not at this moment, but it's going to happen.
It'll happen at some point. I'll let them come through in trickles.
I've got like some stigmata happening here. Do you see this?
Oh, man. It's like you've been crucified by ants, and they only have tiny wee nails.
It takes them forever. No, I'll obviously just tell you what it is because I can't tell you the story.
Tell me the story of your stigmata.
I was emptying the sink around about, must have been around about kind of 7 o'clock this morning, maybe a wee bit earlier, and it was kind of draining. So I did that, you do the kind of makeshift kind of plunger with the palm of your hand.
Oh yeah.
So that it kind of creates a kind of suction effect, and it'll kind of. So I did that, and my finger jabbed into it, and I still don't know what it was, but my finger jabbed into something sharp, and I don't know what it was. Could have been something coming up from the drain, trying to.
Yeah, maybe it was an attempt on your life. There's like a tiny assassin in there.
Right. Putin
with a blue gun in you. Do you know what? I was watching, right? I actually mentioned to you before the stream that I couldn't turn my TV off because for an hour I lost my TV remote, which is my least favorite part about living alone. I used to live with a guy called Harry who would ban me from having the TV remote because I just lose it every time. But it was stuck on that episode. Do you know the one in Red Dwarf season 7 where they go into Jane Austen land?
Yes.
They go into this VR world that's all Jane Austen, and Crichton wants to get them out. And the way that he acted, like taking them all out with the blowguns, and the way he's like running through the brush, but like he's still a robot, so he's still running all weird, but he is like keeping low. Like the determination on his face is incredible. Do you know what? Now that we can share screens, I could probably
try and find it. We're not going to do any question today.
No, but we got to explore this new technology. Hang on.
This is. I genuinely think this is why this works. This stream works is the fact that people probably don't want me to hear me just reading from a book for an hour. Who would? I mean, Audible haven't come a calling yet.
Yes, here it is. I found it.
Screen share.
It's also hold on. I need to make. There's 2 different clips here. I need to make sure it's got the right.
Make sure it's the right one, and then we're gonna. I don't know if we can get done for copyright infringement here, but
we're not making money off of this, so we can't.
You're not making money off this, Chris. This is. I'm making a fortune.
I didn't realize that 2 years ago when we started doing this, you pulled my trousers down.
This has been monetized, which is a weird way to say monetized. This has been monetized. Monetized. Money's too ties to mention.
Right. I've got it.
Right.
Let me share my screen. Right. Present. Share screen. You can present video files, which means we can prepare video files for this. That's interesting. Cool. Right. So if I do that,
I need to add it to the stage, I think.
Right. And you do that. Yes, it's this look on his face, right? When he takes this, when he's like running through the woods. So he's just like dashing through. Hold on, he takes another girl out and does it again. So look at his face, like. Fantastic. This is great. I don't even know we had. Whoa, hold on. We hit the log.
I'd forgotten this episode.
That whole season is probably my least watched season. It's got some fantastic moments in it.
Was that the first one after Chris Barry left?
Yeah, but he was in like flashback, so he was still kind of.
Yeah, that's the one where he kind of leaves, and then they have a flashback episode because Lister's missing him.
That's right. Yeah, Blue, I think is the name of that episode. Yeah, and then he does this to get him to hate him again. The Rimmer experience.
A madness to stage again.
No, it should just be there. Rimmer world. Anyway, this is incredible. Like, we can go on tangents forever now.
I know, we're never going to get through this now.
So the way this works, by the way, is I'm actually still sharing that screen. You can just move it to the stage and away from the stage.
Anytime.
So I could just be doing loads of messed up stuff in the background. And occasionally you can flick to it.
Maybe unshare it then.
Yes,
you know what? The stuff that I look at while we're doing sessions in D&D.
Just watching, never engaging with it, but you gotta watch.
I was quite happy with Jock's character arc on Thursday. I liked being briefly intimidating.
Yeah, you got pretty angry because you read The Yellow King, and you started a fight. Fuck, it was brilliant. I want you.
Anyway, nobody knows what we're talking about with this. So.
No, but you need to play a barbarian. Everyone knows what a barbarian is. Just fueled by rage. You'd make an excellent barbarian, I reckon.
I like to think I'm quite a Zen-centered person.
No, but I'm basing it off how you acted last week.
I'm just a very good actor.
That's what it is.
Just a very good actor. That's what you're saying. I'll take the compliment.
What was that? Who else did I see that did some incredible acting? What was it? It was a sketch I linked up. Fuck. Right, let's not get down this rabbit hole, or otherwise I will just spend the entire thing sharing messed up YouTube videos I've seen, of which there are probably thousands every week. So we would be here for the duration.
When we were doing Island of the Lizard King, which if Lucy's watching, obviously led to her kind of favourite character, Mungo, making an appearance. Was there not an episode where we talked for 53 minutes and 7 minutes of the game?
That's right. That's our personal best, isn't it?
That's our personal
we should probably
best.
I think we should aim for either starting now or going half and half.
Let's start now, because I'm sure that as we're kind of going on, there'll be an element of kind of tangents anyway.
I love how we're still figuring out the format of this 7 seasons in. Like,
we're
both too chaotic people to actually just write it down. We will never write it down. That's never going to happen.
I know. I've just because I mentioned tangents, and I can't believe that I've not brought this up before, or maybe I have brought it up before, and I just can't remember because we've done like about 100 of these by now. I'm just reminded of time I was in the school visiting Morgan's head teacher, and I tried to say tangentially and said tangentially.
Tangentially, that's whenever you go to a sunbed, but you only put your balls in.
You do a reverse sunbed and you're wearing like everything except for your cat.
You're wearing like a lead hazmat suit with the crotch cut out. Do you want to go to tangentially? But we'll have to suit you up. Someone get the hazmat suit.
And they say, "Why are you doing this, sir?" And I say, "Oh, I'm going to be flashing on a stream later on, and I just want to look my best."
Yeah. Could you give me a trim while you're at it?
That would somehow be worse, if you got unsolicited dick pic and it was just like white legs and a tan.
Yeah, it's way worse. Like, how's he managed? He's just walking around the beach in a full suit with his cock balls hanging out, big sun hat and all.
hopefully not disrespecting. I'm aware of the fact that people do on an almost daily basis have to, this is my backpedaling of the day, on an almost daily basis have to actually put up with that shit. And I hope we're not trivializing what can probably be
on a
quite a
daily
harrowing
basis
situation. What's that?
Who's dealing with that? Who's dealing with that on a daily basis?
Getting dick pics? I'm sure lots of people do.
Oh, getting dick pics. Sorry, I thought you meant actual flashers exposing themselves to people. I didn't think it was that popular anymore.
To be honest, if you're constantly getting flashed at and exposed to, I'd maybe take a different route home.
Yeah, you want to be going to a different park.
Exactly. I can't believe every time I come to Flashers Park.
I remember. It reminds me of an Anthony Jeselnik joke, which is him. He was I can't remember where in America, but he was like told a joke about suicide, and they were like, "Hey," no one laughed, and they were like, "Hey, this place is the #1 suicide spot in like the east of America or whatever." And he's like, "Oh shit, I got a number of options here. I can apologize, I can try and move on, or I can double down." And he's like, "You should all fucking move then."
Do you know? I think it's very rare that when somebody does that that you should double down. But I think that worked.
Yeah, that one works. Yeah, because it's just pointing out the obvious. If this place is so awful to live in, why the fuck are you here?
Just all move.
Go somewhere nicer. All right. I've got my sheets.
Yeah.
I've got my
Cool.
my writing hand ready. So look at it.
I didn't send you.
No, you didn't send me any notes.
We talked about this last week that I would forget to send this to you. You said I'll probably remind you on Saturday, and I didn't.
I didn't remind you.
A photo of them now?
I mean, you might as well. I could put them up on. I could put them up on screen. Now that I know I can do that. This is amazing. The wonders of technology.
This is where you currently are with your stats, which is looking a bit untidy. You probably don't want to put it on screen. This is for you and you alone. Oops, I nearly sent it to the other group chat. That'd have been weird.
Just realised there is footage of us playing D&D. That thing that me have sent before, that video from last week.
Yes.
That was funny. It's 17 seconds of footage, but
exactly, but still. Right, let's go. I've nearly made this half and half. After you saying 7 minutes ago, we should probably start now, or it'll go half and half. You're right, Chris. We'll probably best if we start now, and then 7 minutes later.
We probably should just go half and half.
Probably just go half.
Right.
We've got
so we were, as I recall, we were right before the machine.
It's weird that we constantly talk nonsense, and now that I feel that I've got to fill the next 56 seconds, I don't have a clue what to say.
No, I was trying to recap where we are because you sent me these notes.
Yes, that's all you recap.
Well, we repeated the same loop as always, and we made some new discoveries, including we dreamt of an alien horror, which appeared as a massive buzz of sort of, extraterrestrial insects that chased us. I didn't say they caught us, but they chased us. And then we met with the doctor, or the professor. Sorry, professor. And I fucked up a what check was it?
Was that a dexterity
check? Yep. Dexterity check to avoid getting stabbed by him, and fucked it up and got stabbed by him, and then repeated the same loop again. So now we're about to go to that machine that kills animals and is a time warp machine.
Yep.
Let's do the time warp again.
Imagine if after all that we actually had done for copyright infringement because you hit all those notes perfectly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry too much about that.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Oh, I've got something for you, actually. I've got something for you. On the share thing. I've just realised I've got the perfect thing.
Did you
for
say
my good pal
share or
John.
share away? Just an our time travel theme? If I could turn back time.
Back time, back time. Boop, boop, boop,
Share.
boop, boop. If I could find a way. This is me filling the time while I do share
thought
my
she was
screen.
in the room.
Yeah, I know. There you go. Put that on the screen. This is for you.
I'm gonna like this. Oh, I know what this is. Yes, right. Play this. I'm back. Can't hear it.
Can you not hear it?
I can't hear it.
It doesn't matter. You don't really need to hear it, to be
Oh,
honest.
absolutely. I can sing along to it if you want. Oh, merge your oats, those your oats, little lambs. That's a great scene.
That's the only thing of Twin Peaks I've seen, by the way.
Really, I can send you
That's
a ton of stuff.
that's all of it, as far as I'm concerned.
That's all. They just play that in a loop for 2 seasons and then come back 25 years later and do it
People
again.
are like, greatest show ever made. Greatest show ever made.
This changed television.
It would have, if that's what it was. It probably would have.
It did change television.
No, it did.
Let's
yes,
not get in an argument about it.
It would have changed in a different way. Is what I mean.
Exactly.
All right,
Yesterday was Twin Peaks Day.
It was indeed, and in celebration, I watched that video.
You watched that video in a loop. Right, let's get started.
Yes.
Now we're over the halfway mark. Right, okay. So anyway, just a quick recap, blah, blah, blah. What do you need me to do? Step back, point the dials. You must know how to activate like before. His frustration is growing and it may lead to violence. You don't know how much longer he'll restrain himself. What do you do? And you can approach the dials and attempt to operate the machine, or tell Edward you've never seen this device before and that you don't know how to operate it.
The first one.
First one. Cool.
We don't. What I really need to do is go back and watch the videos, but we both know, and everyone who watches knows, I'm not going to do that. No one's going to do that because it's ours. It's ours, John. Have you seen how long we talk for? It's like an hour every week.
I know, absolutely. We're now 8 hours into this, and there's been an honest 30 minutes of gameplay.
All right, there's going to be even less. Let's go.
Yep, let's do it. I'll try. Give me a moment. I'm not even going to do the voice this week because I'm croaky. I'll try. Give me a moment. You plead as you take a closer look at the device. That didn't sound like I was pleading as I said it, but I'm going to continue anyway. The metal of the device is smooth and polished. 4 prominent dials are set into the pillar and are etched with a single point each, denoting where they can be adjusted to. Small notches encircle each dial, similar to the dial on a safe. And one notch resting directly at the east point is larger than the others. You surmise this could be denoting a 0 position. There are no other distinguishing marks or numbers. You believe they could be angular degrees based on the number of marks present around each dial. How would you like to set the first dial? You can set it to 100 degrees.
I'm trying to visualize the dials, right? So we have a big one pointing at the east position.
Yep,
That's this
which looks like a chicken. Have you check?
Yeah, that's the chicken dial, right? And then we got these 3 down here. This was too small, but these 3
are just right. Yep.
And what,
so the first dial, you've got the choice to set to 100 degrees, 90 degrees, 190 degrees, or 75 degrees.
Why those settings? Right, so it's, sorry, run them by me again. 75.
100.
90.
190.
190.
Or 75.
75. Why those, right? And then the next one?
That's it.
Oh, right, that's what we get for now. What's it pointing at right now?
One notch is resting directly at the east point. The one notch resting directly on each east point is larger than the others. So it's pretty much heading. Well,
east point would be 90, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So let's put 90 there, and then Okay, so the big one can go 100, 90, 190, or 75.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess we'll just leave it at 90, right? Leave it there.
Okay, so 90.
Yeah.
You turn the first dial to what you believe to be 90 degrees, it says. How do you want to set the second dial? You can set it to 45 degrees, 121 degrees, or 37 degrees.
Does it say what it's set to now?
Nope.
Then go 45.
45. Imagine if you got this right.
I know.
You set the second dial to what you'd believe to be 45 degrees. How do you want to set the third dial? Leave as it is, set on 0 degrees, set it to 90 degrees, or set it to 47 degrees.
As is.
As is.
So there's only 3 dials. Okay. And one dial's bigger than the other 3, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. You leave the dial alone, set on 0 degrees. How do you want to set the fourth dial? You can leave it as it is, set to 17 degrees. You can set it to 0 degrees, or you can set it to 100 degrees.
So it's as is 17.
Yeah.
And then what? 100?
0 degrees or 100 degrees. 17 is as it is right now. You can set it back to 0 degrees, or you can set it to 100 degrees.
Okay, as is. So the second one was the only one that didn't give us an as is option, I think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
Weird.
leave the fourth dial at 17 degrees and step back from the device. Suddenly, a bright flash of green light shoots upwards from the sphere atop the machine. A low thrum pulses in the air, and the light flickers slowly at first, then faster and faster until it becomes a solid beam firing upwards. You back away, not knowing what to expect.
Right.
Edward stares intently at the beam of light. Yes! He cries excitedly. You did it! The beam of light tiles downwards, coming to rest parallel with the floor. It strikes the attic wall and forms what you can only describe as a doorway. And then on the other side, faint and distorted, as though peering through water, a large cavernous chamber appears. Go now, Edward cries. Go before it is too late. Equal parts terrified and fascinated, you step up to the shimmering doorway. The thrum of the machine pulses through your head. Now, Edward cries from behind you. You consider the possibility of dashing down the attic. Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Dashing down the attic stairs and getting. You're already aware of the fact you probably have to do this a few more times. You consider the possibility of dashing to the attic stairs and getting as far away from the nightmare as you can. But before you can, Edward loses patience. He advances on you and pushes you through.
Ah, pushy
Here's where
boy.
here's where something horrible is going to happen to you, I'm sure.
10 years stuck in a time loop's done no
10
favors for
years.
that boy's manners.
Exactly. A searing light and high-pitched squeal make you grip your head, but it passes as quickly as it began. You find yourself standing motionless until your senses reattune themselves. Then look around. You're in a massive cavern with huge piles of rotten flesh and bone stretching as far as you can see in the dim light. I hope nobody's eating their lunch right now.
Also, I think we've been here before, but let's go.
Above the peak of each mound of meat and viscera, a light is set into the cavern ceiling. Next to each light, there appears to be an opening in the ceiling. Got your dice ready?
Yep.
You need to make an extreme composure check. So roll
I've made this composure check before.
2d6 plus 3.
That is 8 plus 3, 11, and our composure is way below that. We fucked it.
You'll be shocked to hear you failed.
My dice rolls have never been kind, as that video I mentioned earlier would attest to.
Deduct 2 from your current composure. Your composure is down to 7.
Marvelous.
Your composure is down to 7. If you've not yet succumbed to madness, you steel your shredded nerves and look for a way out.
Yep.
The floor of the cavern is a sickening 2-foot deep black soup of blood, guts, and other bodily fluids. Wading through it is hard going. The smell makes you retch uncontrollably until you've nothing left to give, and you finally gain some control over your gag reflex. The piled up mound stretch as far as you can see, eventually fading into darkness about 300 feet in each direction. There's a wee picture for you there.
Fun fact about me, I actually don't have a gag reflex. Do with that knowledge what you will.
Yeah, exactly. Popular at parties. Occasionally, the sound of falling off puts you further on edge, as it would.
Yeah.
Why even? It's like I was fine with that falling off, but it's just an accumulative effect, and now suddenly
it's like whenever you realise you don't like your wallpaper anymore. It's like I've been looking at that for years. I need to get that changed.
I need to get that sorted. It's falling awful. As different chutes open up to deposit more remains into the cavern, you wade on, scanning the walls in the hope of finding an exit. It's not long before you hear short bursts of a loud, high-pitched squeal somewhere off to your left. You may not be alone down here. Do you remain still and see if you can spot what made the sound before deciding where to move, or do you take refuge behind the nearest mound?
So I recall previously I took refuge behind the nearest mound and I spotted something and I might have gotten a journal entry for that. You dreamt of a terrifying. No. You were killed by an unknown assailant. I don't know. You were devoured by the formless spawn, I think is what happened last time. I think that's the journal entry. We got that. And that was for hiding. And then we had to make a check to hide. So maybe we should try that check again. Let's try and hide again.
Try and hide again.
Yeah.
So take refuge behind the nearest mound.
Yes. I take refuge behind the nearest mound, the grassy knoll.
Pushing your way through the foul slop, you crouch down as much as you're willing to dare in this disgusting mess and watch from behind a pile of entrails. After a few moments, a black, slimy tentacle flops over the side of the mound to your left, followed by another, and then another. Do you want to duck down and keep out of sight, or keep watching and see what it does?
Duck down, keep out of sight.
Duck down. Keep out of sight. You hunker down to avoid being seen by whatever new devilry this thing is. Relying only on your ears now, you hear it sloshing through the soup of blood. Moments pass, and then it starts coming closer. Do you want to stay put and hope it moves away, or start moving away from it by creeping round the mound you're hiding behind?
Creep round that mound. Don't open that trapdoor.
That's Kate Bush, isn't it?
Huh?
Keep creeping around that mound. Oh, it's running up that hill.
Yeah, creeping round that mound was a B-side.
It was the B-side for cloud busting. Who knew that I was going to be hitting you with Kate Bush facts today? 4-3. You creep round the slop and offal, moving around to your right as you listen to the creature crawl up the opposite side of the mound. Can you roll 2d6 for me, please?
So what kind of check is this, or is it just 2d6?
It's a stealth check, but it's an easy stealth check, so you need to add 1 to it.
Okay. Wait, you need to add 1 to it? I mean, take away 1?
Take away 1, sorry.
That would make it more difficult.
I know.
Right, come on, we want low numbers here. Low numbers.
Low numbers.
We got not low numbers, but that's a 7 minus 1 is a 6.
6 is good.
Yes.
You pass your stealth check.
We didn't last time, and that was, I think that was, we got devoured by a formless spawn.
I can quickly check to see if that is the case. I'm not going to go into too much. You managed to circumvent the mound and put more distance between you and the creature. Whatever it was, it moves away and disappears further down the cavern, and you slowly continue onward.
Hey, that's progress. We're actually making genuine. We're breaking new ground here. Progress.
Hours pass and exhaustion starts to set in. You feel sick to your stomach, but carry on until you just can't keep going. Excuse me. As
Like you're
unwelcome as
doing
it
now.
is, what's that?
I said, like you're doing now.
Yes. As unwelcome as it is, you sit on a small pile of remains against the cavern wall and close your eyes.
I'll never close your eyes.
Exactly. It's
Not in this
asking you for
world.
some information here which you do not possess. But I won't go into
Balls.
detail about what that is.
I probably needed to get a look at that thing, maybe. I don't know.
A restless sleep takes you as you lie against the cavern wall. The situation seems hopeless as you drift off. You're suddenly woken by a familiar, high-pitched squeal. You open your eyes to see a formless spawn moving through the bloody sludge. Another screech sounds off to your left, and then another. 3 formless spawn writhe and contort their way towards you. You press yourself against the cavern wall, praying it will somehow give way and free you from this nightmare. But all that happens is a lightning fast whip from one of these beasts catching you square in the forehead, smashing your skull against the wall. In seconds, as the life drains from your body, the creature envelops you. You
Devoured by
record
a
your
formless spawn.
Yep, recording your investigator journal. You were devoured by a formless spawn.
We've already done that. I did exactly the same thing again.
You have lost 4 mythos points, bringing your mythos up to 1.
Oh my
Bringing your
god.
mythos down to 1.
Kill me. I feel like I'm stuck in a time loop.
You are stuck in a time loop.
Fuck.
So after
What the hell?
after your brains have been smashed into the wall, you find the fading sun casts a grey silhouette against the crumbling road as your Chevrolet bumps and crunches its way through the falling leaves. The multicoloured tree line sways in the early fall breeze, with most of the leaves still clinging on. The roadside thickets and overhanging trees clip the side of your automobile every few feet. You hear cracks and snaps as the twigs that strayed too far break off or are snapped under the wheels. The town of Durham must not get many visitors, at least not using this route. The
We
birds are
have to
singing,
come up with a
however,
way to
with chirps.
like skip to it. Every time we got to go through this whole thing. We
Yeah,
have
but
to
we're
come
doing it
up with
every
a
6
skip
months,
point.
so we absolutely need a skip point. The birds are singing, however, the chirps and songs are plenty, seemingly taking no notice of your intrusion. You're loving this. This is how Bill Murray felt throughout the entirety of Groundhog Day.
Just let it end. Somebody please shoot me in the head.
You're thankful at least that the area is not silent, for if it weren't for the bird song, you fancy that it would be slightly foreboding to the outsider. You shrug off those fanciful thoughts and emerge from under the canopy of leaves.
I feel like I'm going to become like Bill Murray. I'm just going to like walk through this world emotionless, just like people like stopping to like, oh, you're to the church. Shh. It's like shh, lady, shh. The Pete at the garage, like, yes, I know my engine's busted. I'll fix it.
Yeah. Ned Ryerson.
Yeah. Get up there. Say, give me that fucking needle.
The trees to the right become meadows, extending far on both sides of the road. The tall grass sways in some, while others are clearly the victim of the harvest, bare and flat. A beaten up old sign nailed to a thick post reads Durham. Squinting through the glare of the low sun, you see the town up ahead. You enter the town and pull your vehicle to a garage. The sign over the place reads Pete's Fuel Depot.
Hi, Pete.
You don't need fuel just yet. You've more than enough for the time being. You're looking for directions to Sentinel Hill before it gets too late. You'd hoped to arrive hours earlier, but took a wrong turn in Kingsport. The garage has just one pump and looks a little rundown. A rundown pump is still a pump, though. The paint is peeling from the wood-panelled walls, and there is no sign of any attendant. Stepping out the automobile, you look up and down the street, thankful for the opportunity to stretch your legs. It's quiet. You spot an elderly lady shuffling along on the other side of the road, paying you no heed. There's not another soul around. What do you do? Do you want to approach the old lady for directions, or do you want to ignore the woman and enter the garage?
I guess I'll talk to the old lady. What
You
difference
what?
does it make? I'm gonna talk to the old lady. Let me talk to that
Talk
old
to the
lady.
old lady. Just looks
Do you know,
so.
I think in real life, genuinely in real life, if they put me in this loop, by about loop 5, I would just start killing everyone. I would just go around murdering everyone. They'll all come back in a minute, and I'll like come up with new ways to do it.
That's beautiful. You take a few steps forward, an old lady, and which prompts her to stop walking. Good afternoon, ma'am. I was wondering if you could help me. See, I'm not from around these parts. And you don't say, answers the woman, cutting you off.
I call
Her
her a
head is
cunt.
bowed. Her
Turn to page
heavily
92, I
lined
call her a
face.
cunt.
What's that, sonny? Her heavily lined face remains fixed in the path in front of her feet, but you can see her eyes and heavy brows rise to look at you. What are you going to ask her? You're going to tell her you're looking for Sentinel Hill and she can direct you, or are you going to inquire about the town in the absence of people?
Absence of people.
Sorry. What's that? People?
Absence of people.
Absence.
I know what pisses her off.
Just purposefully antagonising her. Inquire about the lack of people around. She's the only person you've seen. She lifts her head and then looks you up and down.
Did you eyeball me?
Being a city fella, you must think every place to be full of people flapping around, bumping into each other. Not here, lad. People about doesn't mean they want to be eyeballed by strangers. If it be unsettling for you, how about you get on and back to your mobs? She seems indignant. She seems indignant.
So my incredibly intuitive perspective of the female character tells me that you are troubled.
Vote for perception. She seems indignant and starts to shuffle away, mumbling to herself. You realise she hasn't told you how to get to the hill. You attempt to ask, but she waves you off, saying you're best leaving it well alone. What do you want to do now? Do you want to enter the garage and ask in there? Do you want to call it a day, look for lodging, and get a fresh start in the morning? Or do you want to return to your car and drive on? Perhaps there'll be a sign to point you in the right direction towards the hill.
Let's drive on.
Drive on, Mark.
I don't even know if this is efficient. I think maybe we should just go to bed, but we might have missed something that way. I don't know.
You can get back. You get back in your car and roll away from the garage. You glance in your installed rear view mirror, which you found vital for the crowded Boston streets, and see what appears to be the garage attendant walking out into the middle of the street. He's watching you leave, rubbing his hands with a rag. You've picked up too much speed to bother stopping now. Further on, the road narrows and gets a little bit rougher. It's almost 6 p.m. as you're rolling slowly along the leaf-strewn roads through the woods. Keeping an eye out for the house, the evening is fast approaching and the low sun is now obscured by dark clouds. The overhanging trees are in cahoots with the clouds, darkening the evening more as they form a tunnel that envelops the road. You switch on your headlights to improve visibility and prevent you from missing any telltale signs of the house's whereabouts. The road starts to slope upwards as you enter the hills that stretch across this side of Dunham town. A few minutes pass when you arrive at a fork in the road. The trees and brambles are thick, knotted together as though one wants to strangle the other. Even the electric lights from your car can't penetrate them from the other side. Protruding twigs and tree branches scrape off the car every few feet. There's no signpost at the fork. Going to take the left fork or the right fork?
Left. Left fork.
Left fork. You take the left fork. The road is getting a little bumpier. You soon arrive at another junction. You're going to continue straight on or turn right.
Straight on.
As your car jostles its way down the uneven road, you come to a turn off to the left. You can take this turn or continue straight on.
Left.
You turn left, hoping to see signs for the hill or even the house. However, with the lights fading, you start to doubt you're even doing. You contemplate turning around and taking lodging in town, but decide to confirm the house location first. Your car bumps and jostles along the track, but remains as dependable as ever as you trundle on. You soon arrive at a small roadside clearing where a small truck has been pulled in. The cabin is empty. Using your flashlight, you examine the area until you spot a rotted signpost in the tree line next to the clearing. Pulling out the remains, you see the faded paint marks of what once unmistakably had the lettering Sentinel Hill. Investigating further, you find a narrow gap in the tree lines. You're just about to step through when a man appears through the gap. "Are you lost, stranger?" calls a man from within the glare of your flashlight. His voice sounds weary and strange.
I draw my gun and I shoot him.
"Yeah, I'm looking for Sentinel Hill. I found this article, you see." You call back in reply, holding up the newspaper clipping. "You're so curious you've come all the way out here to see an old place." He reaches into his coat pocket. "That doesn't sound right to me. You're from the university, aren't you? I've got no interference from the university here." "Are you Professor Peabody?" you ask, suddenly realizing the connection with the house and the Miskatonic University. "Come to put a stop to my work. I will return those Necronomicon pages. They hold the key to all of this." He gets very agitated and pulls out a revolver from his pocket and starts waving it around. "Leave now before you can't leave at all." You try to protest, but the gun changes your mind. You feel you have no choice but to leave. It asked a question in the previous one that you don't have the answer to, so there's definitely something else you can do here that you're not yet able to do yet. You return to your car dejected, but can't help but wonder at the strangeness of the situation. Just what exactly is he doing up there? You head back to Durham, resolving to try again tomorrow. So we've pretty much almost
got back to square one.
Starting to get frustrated, aren't you?
I've shared a thing that sort of illustrates how I feel.
Back in Durham, you wander around looking for a vacancy site. You half expect that you won't find one, giving the run of poor luck at the end of this trip has taken. But just as you reach the town edge, you spot an available lodging. The landlords are a friendly, middle-aged couple, and the husband who's happy to offer lodgings to visitors of Durham for just a few dollars. Apologising for the late hour, you explain your visit and you need to get off the road for the night. "You're a sight for sore eyes, young man. We haven't had a lodger in 6 months." "Liar," she says, taking your coat. You explain that you might not be staying long. After a late bite to eat and a long, tiring and trying day, you fall into an uneasy sleep.
I call her a hag and she calls me a fascist.
Exactly. She loves you. She gives you a peck in the cheek and leaves you.
Yeah.
That is until you're suddenly awoken in the middle of the night. "I love me a fascist," she says.
She crawls in my bed. There's noises coming from your room. It's under your sheets. Sounds like their mouth's full.
Beautiful.
You see dentures in a glass on your bedside table.
And a glass that wasn't there when you went to sleep. Noting your journal, got a gammy from
Got a gappy from the hotel room. You may now skip straight to the hotel scene each loop. You just every loop, it's like he dies and then he wakes up. He's getting a gappy from a hag, and then it's straight back to square one.
That's me done. See, we managed to keep this entertaining. Your eyes flick open. Flashes of green light fill the room through the window. Is it green lightning? The window's open. The window's open, but you're sure it was closed when you retired for the night.
She climbed in through the window. Glass in her teeth.
I'm actually hurting. I'm not even going to do the accents anymore because I'm just gummed. Help us, you promised. A distant voice, terrible and raspy. Your heart nearly stops as you dart your eyes about the room. Who's there? Show yourself, you stammer.
Who's in here?
More flashes of green light pour through the window. You said you would go back. What are you going to do? This is where we're going to leave it, although it's hardly the cliffhanger. Unless you want us just to power through this bit.
I think what we should do is we should pick a page, right? And anytime we die, it's like a save point, right? I'll save on that page every run. And then we just, when the loop ends, instead of going back to dirt, because we have no more information to get from Pete or from that lady whose name we never get. We have no more information to get from them. How about we just skip to this scene each time?
Yeah, or I wouldn't skip to this scene because there's definitely something that you can do when you get to the house at night.
How about we skip to this scene unless I find something that I think I could use in that scene?
If you want.
Because that's easily 20 minutes out of half an hour of adventuring. we could just nullify that down to like eight. We could cut 18 minutes off of that, and that would be way more time to explore new things.
If that's what you want to do, Chris, if you don't want the full experience of this,
I think I've got it. I've had more than my share of the full experience of this.
Well, that's the way you want. If you want to cheat,
let's take a vote. Who wants to hear the same passage over and over again? Fuck you.
Who doesn't? Hey, because I'm the GM, I get the deciding vote. I'm only joking. I'll take it. I'll take it on board.
Yeah, just dog ear one page, and that's the page we go back to.
Yep. I'm not going to dog ear a page. I don't think you know me. I'll just write the page number down.
If you lose that sheet of paper, I'm setting about you. I'm coming down there and I'm flying in amongst you with a claw end of a hammer.
But there's definitely still something that you've not quite explored yet before this point.
Right.
I'm telling you
the only thing it could be
I can see some stuff on this page that you aren't aware of.
Right. I'm not aware of it, but is that because I don't have something in my journal?
Yes.
Right. Well, then how about if the journal
No. I've taken that into consideration. I'm just telling you that there's something that's going to come up in the future. Hopefully that might impact something before this point, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'll take cognizance of that if you get that info.
Right, okay. That works.
Okay. So your choices are to leap out of the bed and search the room for the source of the voice, or try and talk to the strange voice. And we can muddle through this if you want very quickly for the next 5 minutes, or
may as well. I mean, we're here now.
Let's do it. Want to search the room or talk to the strange voice?
Talk to it. Fuck it. I can't even remember which is faster.
See, you don't remember everything. Who's
there?
I don't
remember the boring bits.
Who's there? Yes, sitting upright in the bed. No answer. Show yourself. Still nothing. You look about the room. There's no feasible location for the speaker tied unless a sudden thought goes to the bed you're in. You want to check under the bed or instead approach the open window?
I'm going to approach the open window because checking under the bed is mental.
Okay. Have you checked under the bed before?
I believe so, yeah.
Approach the window. There's no one in the street. The sky fills again with a flash of sickly green light. In the distance, you see a hill perched atop the silhouette of the house. Could that be the source of light? Spoiler alert. The voice much fainter now, as though we're travelling and the wind speaks one last time. Come, Frank, you promised. The speaker knows your name.
Did he know he knew I was getting a gubby as well?
That woman knows her way around the town. Your heart rate, we're just assuming that it's the wife and not the husband that came into your room
both
in the night. Your heart rate eases and nothing more is said. It's only then that you notice the chill of the air blowing in the room and quickly latch the window closed as one last flash of light floods the room with a green haze. You turn to get back into bed and find it gone.
Yep.
The green haze lifts and you find yourself standing in a long corridor. The floors, the wall, the ceiling, all out of polished metal, smooth and cold to the touch. At the end of the corridor are 3 markings set into the walls. You see an oval marking in the wall ahead, a circle in the left wall, and a square in the right-hand wall. They're each large enough to be a door, but smooth and flush with the wall, with no obvious way of opening it. There's a low thrum in the air. You cannot tell if it's from the floor, the walls, or just the air itself. The air smells of ozone after a lightning storm. I am going to tell you that I'm still not sure that you've explored all of these possibilities at this point.
Oh, I know. I haven't.
Right.
I haven't. So I have one more to do in the square door. I know that for sure.
Okay, so you call out, see if some lands are, examine the circle marking to the left, examine the square marking to the right, or past those, and examine the oval marking at the end of the corridor.
Square.
Right, we're going to finish off in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
As you take a few steps towards the reverberation of your footsteps echo strangely about the corridor. You reach out to touch the edge of the shape, and as you do, the wall opens before you. It's a door. In one swift motion, it sweeps aside to reveal a chamber on the other side. The chamber is undefined and blurred. You step through to see what lies beyond, and the chamber reveals itself. The door closes behind you. At the far end of the room stands a group of 4 pedestals that appear to be moulded up directly from the floor. Atop each pedestal rests a tall cylinder. To your right, 4 horizontal metal platforms line the wall like a row of tables. In the left wall is a large round window that looks out to a black sky. A faint green light shining in through the window, bathing everything with a sickly green tint. You can look out the window, examine the horizontal slabs, or examine the cylinders on the far wall.
So we've already done the cylinders where we got trapped in a cylinder, trapped in a box by a cockney nut job. And then we went to the window where we had to pass a composure check and we dreamt of an alien horror. Yep. Also, before we continue, it said that the door slides open to reveal the room, but you see the inside of the room, but it's blurry until you step into the room where it becomes defined. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the level picker from Crash Bandicoot. Are we inside the world of Crash Bandicoot?
It could be.
Is that the deep lore here?
That's exactly that. I can't believe you've managed to after. See, you're constantly learning new stuff.
Yeah, we're peeling back the layers here. We need to check those tables, those 4 pedestals or tables or whatever they are.
You approach the large rectangular slabs. They're featureless and set low, close to the floor, but held up by a single column of metal underneath. As you get closer to the nearest slab, it starts to move of its own accord, silently tilting up and towards as though your very presence has activated it.
Wait. So like this, and it's going up, maybe like that. Maybe like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Like it's delivering maybe, well, they're tables, so maybe it's delivering food.
Yeah, it could be like a dumb waiter.
Yeah.
Silently tilting up and forward, so your very presence activated it. You wait to see what will happen, and when it's almost standing upright, it stops. Suddenly, the flat, smooth surface morphs as the embossed shape of a man appears and pressed into the table. You feel compelled to approach it, and as you do, you turn to face away from it and lie back into the man-shaped impression. Your head screams no, but your body disobeys.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
You can't move, locked somehow to the slab as it starts to tilt back to its original horizontal position. Your eyes close of their own accord, and suddenly you feel a presence by your side standing over you. You can't open your eyes. They rest in a small...
It is a table, and I am food.
You can't open your eyes because they rest in a small container next to the metal slab. Your left arm is cut away, and then your right foot, and then your rib cage is open to the air. Finally, your brain is set down next to your eyes. Roll 2 dice for me. Roll 2 dice for me.
What? To resist vivisection?
It's a hard composure check.
Oh, really? This is a difficult one? Why would that be so difficult? What the fuck? Oh my god. It's an 11 plus what, 2 for being hard, so that's 13.
Yep. Right, so your composure... Right. Your composure's taking a bit of a beating for that. But you dream of being dissected by an unknown presence. So write that down in your journal. You dreamt of being dissected by an unknown presence, and you add 4 mythos points. So you're back up to 5 again. And dreamt of being dissected by an unknown presence.
And the other one with the cylinders was trapped in a cylinder after being dismembered.
Yep.
And
then you wake up.
Potentially a lab?
Yep.
It's either a lab or a butcher's. I can't tell which it is.
Who can tell? You're going to wake up. We're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
So there we go. More information still.
Just other ways to die, really.
Yep.
Well, hey,
don't know how much more you add this into.
Is we're finally tracking the combinations. That's important, and we got Viscera Pit. That's where that leads. So we know what we're dealing with there, and we know that the Viscera Pit. I think the only result of the Viscera Pit, until we have that journal entry, is going to be we get consumed by a formless horror or something.
Yep. I think the Viscera Pit's going to be our destination constantly unless we get the absolute 100% right combination.
Wait, has it always been the Viscera Pit?
We've been in the Viscera Pit before.
We have, yeah, but
there might be other variations. I can't say.
I don't remember. It's been too long.
It's been too long. You're still suffering from deja vu. So that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
we're obviously more frustrated than you were last week when we made loads of kind of cool discoveries, and this week I'm just like kind of going. Right.
There we go. Well, at least we've established the system that we'll skip that first bit in Durham, just until we get something that might change a result back.
Yeah, definitely. I've noted down that if you do get a specific piece of information, then we won't skip that bit.
Sure, that works for me.
Skip to going through the woods.
That should significantly increase the amount that we get done.
I mean, mate, if we don't talk shite for the first half hour, maybe.
We can't not do that.
I know. No, absolutely. So this has been episode 8 of season 7 of Tight Tentacles. This has been Chris Ashworth.
This has been John Carruthers.
Good afternoon.
Sayonara.